afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's me, the Arbiter, and I'm back with more Assassin's Creed 3. Let's get Rick on board and we can get things started, huh? Yeah. Hello there.
All right. So I noticed it's a bit early. For those who are listening, I noticed it's a little bit earlier than we typically stream, but I figured, hey, it's a Friday. It's about to start of a weekend, so how about we get the show rolling a little early today?
Yes, and I experimented with streaming at around the time I was rotating dogs last night. I had to take several breaks away from the keyboard, and it was just like, I think I think my viewership actually dropped off each time I did that. So, meh.
Yeah, I'm no one surprised me. People do like consistency, so if you're just going around doing hoo-ha, then I can see that'd be frustrating.
Yeah. Well, the good news is we're here now. Let's get things started.
Alrighty. Hi, be sure to see your screen before we get started.
Yes. There we go. Hello, garlic.
Incoming at break.
Do 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 do.
Man, I miss the day of Uplay. Fucking, Ubisoft's old launcher was like way more efficient.
Oh yeah, before they switched to Ubisoft Connect, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. How come they switched away from Uplay? Did they ever say the reason for the change?
No, they didn't.
Interesting. Yeah,
If
given the recent failure of Assassin's Creed Shadows, it makes you wonder how long Ubisoft's got.
Oh, Ubisoft's been going down the tubes for a while now. I wouldn't be surprised if they get bought out by Epic.
Well, either that or Tencent, which also has a share in Epic.
Yeah. Which would mean I wouldn't buy anything published by them anymore. Because I am
Um,
not giving my money to Tencent.
Imagine sell the rights to like Rayman and the Rabbits to Nintendo.
That would be nice, actually. I think there's a lot Nintendo could do with Rayman if they had the rights to it.
Yeah, it's very similar to Mario in its structure and architecture. If they really want, they can even integrate it into the Mario universe.
They
I
kind of
think
did.
Rayman.
They kind of did that with Rayman Rabbids Kingdom or whatever it was.
Yeah, the Mario Rabbids. Oh yeah, the crossover. Yeah. Yeah, I think it worked pretty well in that, so I wouldn't be against it. Um, I'd probably be easier to do Rayman than Sonic, just because Sonic's whole gimmick is speed, and Nintendo games not being known for like super fast outside of like racing games like F-Zero.
Yeah. Now, what's going on here in New York?
New York, New York. Hey
Actually,
Seth,
wait,
what do
this
you
is
think is a...
Boston.
Oh, we're in Boston.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Hey Seth, what do you think is a better which song do you think better fits like New York? Empire State of Mind or New York, New York?
I don't know. I haven't heard either before.
Really? Okay, I kind of get New York. Well, that's crazy because like one of them was like Frank Sinatra, probably one of the most iconic songs of his like catalog. The other was a huge song in like the late 2000s. I'm really surprised you've not heard any of them. I'll let you.
Which was the one by that like female singer? New York, the lights will inspire you. Now you're in New York.
Yeah,
I hate that song.
uh,
I
that was really that was Empire State of Mind that you just referenced.
Empire State of Mind pisses me off.
What's wrong? How come you don't like it? What was the reason?
The singer sounded incredibly shrill to me.
Was it the one who did the chorus or the one who did like the rap lyrics?
They were different singers.
Yeah, there was. It was by Jay-Z featuring Alicia Keys, and
Yeah,
Alicia Keys was the one who did the chorus.
yeah. Alicia Keys sounds incredibly shrill in that song. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, it's interesting because usually she has more of a softer voice to her. It did sound a little different in that track specifically. Not sure why though. But interesting. I've never heard anyone like critical of Keys before, at least not for music. Well, then again, my music taste was very different back then. I was a very
I
different man
hated
back
a lot
then.
of modern music back in the late 2000s, if not all of it.
I see.
I didn't like a lot of shit that was mainstream then. I'm not an
Ooh.
outright hipster, but I do think, but I have hipster tendencies, if that makes sense.
That's actually really fascinating because I don't mind the songs in the 2000s because I kind of grew up during that time, but everything, I don't know, anything after like 2014 or 15, I just kind of stopped listening to mainstream music because that's around the time I started doubling down on like Japanese like video game soundtrack or like songs from anime.
Yeah.
Like I have actually not listened to the radio since COVID.
I haven't listened to the radio since 2012.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate the radio not just because they play overrated mainstream garbage, but because they play the same fucking 5 songs over and over again.
Well, that's a song of the summer. That's how the radio stations have worked for the longest time, my dude. They play it like every hour. They cycle through the same couple tracks,
I know,
especially
it's
during
fucking
like time.
insufferable. You need some fucking variety in there.
Yeah, that's why for Score of the Union, I wanted to get a song from each state, but also get one from different artists to reflect different genres and different eras of music in America.
Right.
Like the oldest song I have, I believe, was from the 1930s or 40s. I'm not sure. It's the one about Connecticut by Bing Crosby.
Admittedly, I haven't listened to too much of Bing Crosby. I have a Christmas album by him, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's how I started listening to his music too. Because around this time in December, I was listening to a lot of Christmas music, and Bing Crosby had a couple tracks up there in the playlist I was listening to. Yeah, so you probably might prefer New York, New York then, because that's an older track, and
Yeah, if it's by
yeah,
Frank
give me those.
Sinatra, it's probably good.
Yeah,
I
Frank
don't think there's a bad song in Frank's discography.
No, sir, I had to make sure to put him on there. I originally had Moonlight in Vermont, but after listening to New York, New York, I'm like, yeah, I like this one better, so I put that one. I found a better track for Vermont, actually. It's more of a modern track, but I think it works well for the state. But I will say this, when it comes to the modern tracks, I actually prefer the artists that are more like indie or niche compared to like the mainstream ones because I feel like they just come to me they come off a bit more creative and authentic, and I like how they portray themselves in their songs.
Yeah. I gotta say,
Plus, always good to support like independent artists because they have the same back at record deals like from Sony or Hollywood or what have you.
Hey, do you remember Imagine Dragons?
Yes, I know of them. I used to listen to some of their songs when I was younger.
Yeah, I listened to them when they were popping off, and in retrospect, part of me wonders if they were an industry plant just because of like the quality. They had a huge hit, got super big, and it was good shit, and then everything after that was just like absolutely mediocre garbage.
I think, when it comes to artists and music, you really need to look at the producer of the track. Because 9 times out of 10, if you're noticing that the quality of an artist seems to go down, that usually is due to the fact that they were done by a different producer. Because the producers will be determined, like, what kind of tracks get produced and who does what music.
That
And
makes
for
me wonder if Freedom Call recently changed producers. Their quality hasn't gone down per se, but the subject matter of their lyrics has changed radically since between their most recent album and everything prior to it.
Commander, Connor. Any word on Lee? Not yet. My apologies. I've been distracted. Supply caravans meant for the camp have gone missing. I suspect treachery. A traitor named Benjamin Church, recently released from prison, has vanished as well. The two events are surely related.
What was his crime?
He was caught sending letters to the Loyalists, detailing our troop strength. He claimed it was a scare tactic, that we might avoid war. A poor lie.
I will find Church for you.
Why? What reason have you to help?
Does it matter?
As you wish. We've received reports of trouble along the southern road.
Real quick, I gotta go take an allergy pill.
Might
Something
be
is up with my
easier
sinuses.
I suggest
Go
you
ahead.
begin your search there.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as you just heard from General Washington himself, looks like we're about to find ourselves a traitor. As soon as that gets back, we'll go into the mission and take care of that. But first, a message from our sponsors. Now, I'm not sure if the ad break is played or not, but if it has, enjoy the ad, I suppose. But if you're a subscriber, you don't have to worry about this kind of thing. So if you haven't already, be sure to give us a follow, subscribe to our channel, hit the notification so you can get the latest updates, especially if you're on YouTube. And you can find us on social media through X specifically, at Seth Hackley, and you can find me at Melee64D. And be sure to join our Discord. We have tons of cool stuff going on over there, lots of awesome conversations, so you like to hang on in, join the fun, it'll be a great time. For those who are listening in, here we are.
Hopefully that kicks in a bit.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I just took an allergy pill a few hours ago, mainly because I've been dog sitting recently, but for some reason my nose is really stuffing around my sister's dog. It's something with like her fur, or how it gets things or something, I'm not sure. But anyway, there's all that going on. And so, thankfully, she is coming back, I think, either
Connor,
tonight or tomorrow.
what do you think of my work thus far?
The men are bolstered, focused. It is good you have come.
You are too kind. Lord knows my journey was far from certain. The trials we suffered getting here were strange and many. I dressed as a woman, Connor, to evade British spies. Did you know that?
I did not. As a woman, you say?
It is the truth. King George had already stopped our crossing once in Bordeaux, threatening to seize my newly purchased ship, La Victoire, and arrest me. But I was born stubborn, and such a warning could not dissuade me. So we rode for Spain and bought passage aboard the ship there. George's spies had followed us every step of the way. Disguise was the only remaining option, mon Dieu.
No man can doubt your commitment, and you are invaluable to the cause. You did what you needed to do. I am certain I would have done the same.
But of course you would. I expect nothing less.
For a French guy, he's alright.
Yeah, he's pretty chill. You know, it kind of reminds me of a slave from the 1850s. It was during John Brown's whole situation, because basically, because he was a young boy with the soft facial features, John Brown was taking him for a girl, and so he kept him from the front lines. Then he ended up at a brothel at one point, was separated from John, still dressed as a girl. But then, basically near the end of the book, right before the third act, he basically rips off his dress saying, "I'm a man," and he goes out to help John Brown at the fort. I forgot the name of the fort. It was the one where he fought against the South before he was ultimately captured and arrested. He was there in the final battle. Unfortunately, if I recall correctly, I think he perished in that battle. No, he didn't perish. I think he survived, actually. But John Brown, as you and I both know, he perished, ultimately, put to death. And that was the end of it.
Yeah, John Brown is an interesting character. The left loves the guy, and I saw a video by Monsignor Z that apparently he was not a great dude.
No, not really. Sure, he wanted to free the slaves, but the way he went about it was definitely off the wrong. Cause like there's a reason why, some people see him as a factor leading to civil war because, he just wasn't in the right spot mentally, and it had an impact on the actions he took to abolish. And ultimately, his mission didn't work because slavery still persisted after his death, and it wasn't until after the Civil War that slavery would be abolished.
Interesting. You know how we were talking about like New York songs earlier? When I think of a song for New York, I don't think of the Frank Sinatra song or Empire, whatever it's
State
called.
of mind. Yeah.
You know what I think of? I think of New York State of Mind by Billy Joel.
Ah, I think I have him for Allentown. That's the track I picked in Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay. Yeah, New York State of Mind isn't my favorite Billy Joel song. It's a bit. I'm not a big fan of like blues or somber sounding stuff. Oh, hey, it's Dad.
Father. Connor, any last words? Wait. A poor choice.
Come to check up on Church? Make sure he'd stolen enough for your British brothers?
Benjamin Church is no brother of mine. No more than the Redcoats or their idiot king. Oh, I expected naivete, but this... The Templars do not fight for the crown. We seek the same as you, boy. Freedom, justice, independence.
But
But what?
Johnson, Pitcairn, Hickey, they sought to steal land, to sack towns, to murder George Washington.
Johnson sought to own the land, that we might keep it safe. Pitcairn aimed to encourage diplomacy, which you cocked up thoroughly enough to start a goddamn war. And Hickey? George Washington is a wretched leader. He's lost nearly every battle in which he's taken part. The man's racked with uncertainty and insecurity. Only look at Valley Forge to know my words are true. We're all better off without him. Look, much as I'd love to spar with you, Benjamin Church's mouth is as big as his ego. You clearly want the supplies he's stolen. I want him punished. Our interests are aligned.
What do you propose?
A truce. Perhaps some time together might do us good. You are my son, after all, and might still be saved from your ignorance. I can kill you now, if you prefer.
So polite, giving us the choice.
Excellent. Shall we be off?
Do you even know where Benjamin Church has gone?
I'm afraid not. I'd hoped to ambush him when he or one of his men returned here. It seems I'm too late. They've come and cleared the place out.
I may be able to track him.
It's funny how much you look like your dad with that outfit.
I know, right?
There were rations inside the crates. Medical supplies and clothing as well.
Aw, thank you, Garlic. I love you too, little buddy. He's like,
Okay, careful. It looks like there's a British platoon heading your way.
yeah, I see that. They should be, yeah, from the step they're making, they're probably not gonna head down this path. We'll be fine.
Alright, it looks like they're crossing into the next area it needs to go to, so I just be careful.
Yeah, I'll just go behind them. Should be cool.
Yeah, hopefully actually, does the water have any impact on your stealth abilities in this game, or is that something that came later?
That, I don't know if that ever became a thing in Assassin's Creed games.
Really? I would imagine that, like, as long as it's advanced enough, you can maybe hide in, like, the mist or the smoke or, like, the snowy
Yeah, no,
areas.
that's something more along the lines of Deus Ex or Thief the Dark Project would have had. Deus Ex had a thing where if you were in the shadows, it made you harder to detect.
But enough remains.
Fog was a thing in Thief the Dark Project as well.
Oh, I see, I see. Ooh, hey, I have some super exciting news.
What's that?
That it just came to my attention. You remember that show called The View?
Oh, yeah, they didn't get canceled, dude.
Oh, they didn't?
No, that's a bit of misinformation that's been going around Twitter today. I saw it too.
Oh, I see. Are you aware of the source of the rumor?
No, I'm not. I just saw the community notes on Twitter saying, unfortunately, The View has not been canceled, and they directed to ABC's website, and I'm like, well, that's good enough for me. The View is not canceled. Unlike Albania.
Huh.
Just my luck. Going to freeze to death if I don't get this fixed.
Are you Ben Church's man?
Well played.
Come on, you piece of
He was
shit.
so slow.
It was not wise to run.
What do you want?
Where is Benjamin Church?
I don't know. We was riding for a cup just north
That
of here.
voice is most unfortunate.
Maybe you'll find it there.
Whoa!
You did not have to kill him.
Let's not waste time with all this pointless banter. Go catch up with the rest of Church's men. Infiltrate that camp of theirs and see what you can discover.
And what about you?
Never you mind. Just do as I ask.
Yes, Dad. Wait, I'm
I
going
gotta
the
just
wrong
blast
way.
the guy in the face, like right there. Catch it to the convoy. Now, why would that be a side? Oh, that is a main objective. Never mind.
I gotta say, I'm surprised this game is
I'm
more
hungry.
stable than Assassin's Creed 4, considering it's newer.
Well, you do have to keep in mind that this is not the original Assassin's Creed. This is the remaster.
Right.
I almost feel
Oh,
bad
nice.
for the Yanks shivering and starving out there. It's a hard way to go. All they need to do is raise the white flag. They should have done that a long time ago. All this fight serves no purpose. The crown's sure to win in the end. To waste all those lives chasing a fool notion.
Yeah, whatever you do, don't jump out the haystack.
Yeah, I shouldn't... unless the game forces me out, I probably will be fine. Because all the
Alright.
instances where I've jumped out of the haystack, it's because the game forced me to do that. I didn't have any control over the situation.
Oh, I see.
One
Are
of the
you
weird-
using keyboard and mouse or controller?
Keyboard and mouse.
I still remember we.
Do not hide in the hay cart while following the convoy.
Oh, that was a. How else are you supposed to follow it?
Yeah, hold up a sec. I got a text from Mom.
Okay. Man, that's really dumb. Maybe it'd be too obvious. Wait, how was I
Okay,
supposed to
really
follow?
quick, I'm going to go let the dogs in because I have a batch out right now. They went out at 2 o'clock. Probably could have done this when I was getting the allergy pill, but you know, when your dog's sitting for a family member, you know how it is.
Alright, go on, do your thing. I'll keep the chat busy. Alright, so everybody, once again, thanks again for tuning to the stream. Don't head away just yet. My co-host is just on a brief hiatus. We will be right back with more awesome stuff. In the meantime, if you haven't already, give us a follow and a sub on Twitch, so that way you get all the latest content ad-free to all those ads and stuff, and you get tons of cool tokens that you can spend on like emotes and stuff. And then if you're on YouTube, subscribe to us there, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our latest uploads. If you're on Kick, a follow there as well as the bell. That's helpful too. And you can find us on Twitter, where my friend the Arbiter, you can find him at Seth Hackley. And then as for me, you can find me at Melee Brawler 64D. And also join us on the Discord, where you can get the latest updates on other related things, as well as chat with fellow Arbiter adventurers across as we journey through time and space to conquer the games of the interwebs. and all that fun jazz. So once again, thank you guys so much for your support. We greatly appreciate of it, and hope to keep you guys entertained. We got a lot of fun stuff on the way, not just Assassin's Creed, but with other stuff too. So be sure to stay tuned. A lot of great stuff coming up. Oh, by the way, one last thing. Yeah, don't pay much to VTuber model here. Just a little silliness there. But, have any questions or comments? Be sure to drop them in the chat. We'll be happy to answer as they come on in. And yeah, don't be shy. Don't be afraid to get engaged. We appreciate all forms of interaction, no matter where you're watching from. Yeah, just sorry, one last thing. Just to reiterate, we'll be back in just a couple of minutes, so just hang on tight and we'll be right back to the show. Ooh, what's this?
Welcome totalitarian anticipation.
I see. Let's remove this guy. Where is... Here we go. Uh-huh. We are going to carry you. Yeah, just one quick warning. We do not tolerate bots in the chat. If you, sir, are bots, we're going to have to ask you to skedaddle. Because we don't appreciate the kind of behavior around here. But if you're a normal person who likes to have fun, comment as much as you like. Got plenty of fun stuff on the way.
Alright, there we go.
Ah, welcome back. You didn't miss much. We did have a bot in the chat, but I took care of it, so you're good to go.
Much appreciated. Okay, kill the can- oh shit, hold up.
Oi, where's the foreman?
Won't be thanking me when you hear what he's got planned.
Dude, they already got cheats working Battlefield 6. The game is currently in early access beta, and somehow they already got like mods installed.
Cool. I'm not a big Battlefield fan. I've never played any of the games, but I am impressed by the modding scene of most every game.
Oh, my apologies. That's like correct. Not mods, they're cheats. You know, like boxes, autoscope, things like that.
Just do as Church asks. If you're so concerned, take it up with him. Is he here? Of course not. Hiding in New York, the last I heard. Trying to keep a low profile. Well, on account of him not wanting to go back to jail and all. All right, I'm in.
Okay, this is mildly stupid, but... oh, shit. Really? Okay, I didn't know it was that stupid.
Well, it's a stealth mission, my guy.
Right, I was trying to do a corner assassination, but that didn't work.
Oi, where's the foreman?
Come here, boy. I'm gonna pull you into the hay and stab you. I am so excited for the new handheld to arrive. The UPS is supposed to receive it on the 13th of this month.
Valley Forge.
What's on the 13th this month?
That's when the UPS receives the handheld and is supposed to start shipping it to my place.
Nice.
Yeah.
If you're so concerned, take it up with him. Is he here? Of course not. Hiding in New York, the last I heard. Trying to keep a low profile. On account of him not
Okay, now let's try this corner assassination again. Fuck. Garlic, I appreciate that you love me, but right now I need to focus, and you butting your head into mine and chewing on my head is not going to...
He was creeping around the camp all suspicious like.
Must be a Yank spy.
Nah, he's something else. Something special. Isn't that right, Hatham? Church told me all about you.
And you should know better than this.
You're not really in a position to be making threats, are ya?
Not yet.
Oh, okay, yeah, now I can jump him. Oh, he's using a different sword. He's using the light cavalry saber.
Incoming at break.
Oh, yeah, but you're not playing as him anymore. He's his own guy now.
We're in New York. What? You mean to just leave? Now? If you can't handle a couple of mercenaries, then we've really no business working together. Unbelievable.
Guard break. Yeah, there we go. That did the trick. Ooh, impaled! That's a nasty death right there. Oh, that sweet roll. I love that somersault attack. It's such a cool move. We didn't perfect sync it, but that's fine. I wasn't planning on it anyway. And now we gotta march all the way back to Washington's camp. You know what I just realized? When I was at the shop in Boston, it didn't give me the option to buy more musket balls for my pistol.
Ah, interesting.
Oh, wow.
Maybe there's... Oops.
I just got fucked up. You gonna come back at me? Come on, let's dance.
Yeah, man.
There we go.
Ooh, actually, there was something I forgot to mention. I don't know if you saw this, but there's been an update to staff benefits policy.
What's that?
As of today, or really as of a few days ago, you're no longer to buy junk food and desserts with SNAP.
Yeah, but that's only in certain states. It doesn't apply to California. Which, if I'm being completely honest, thank God.
Oh. Oh, let me get... Alright, wait a minute. You're not using staff to buy junk food, are you, my friend?
I buy healthy food, I buy meals, but I also buy snacks.
Okay, I mean, if you're only buying stacks like, once in a while, I think it's fine. But there were some people out there who were basically using it to only buy like chips and soda, and that's all they would eat.
Bruh.
Because keep in mind, the purpose of like Snap is like supplemental nutrition. The idea is that you use it to gain meals that you need that are not only healthy for you, but you need to survive while you're, either a low income area or low income position, or you're like in between jobs. That's the whole premise. So the
Right.
ability to just buy like, especially considering that like 30% of SNAP recipients spend their SNAP benefits on snack foods and junk food, it's like it's defeating the purpose. Like, granted, you can still buy soda and stuff like that, but now you have to use your own money if you want to do that.
Yeah, beforehand, there is good news though. You can't use Snap, even in California, you can't use Snap to buy alcohol. And I know because I tried to use it to buy some cooking wine to make my pot roast, and I had to buy the cooking wine, which was like $4 with my own money. I'm like, okay, well, you know what? That's entirely fair because I can see how that would be abused by alcoholics.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I think it was I was probably the first thing they removed like a while ago. But yeah, I think the same entry should be done for like soda and like junk and stuff because like you don't need this. They're nice treats, but you don't need them to live. And Snap should be focusing on essential foods that people need to survive, and not wise to live on a diet of like chips and soda. It just makes you fat, and we should not be funding the
Well,
obesity epidemic.
I agree with I agree. I agree in part, but I'm like, if I I can be I buy my groceries responsibly. Like usually what I buy is lettuce for my burgers, hamburger patties, chicken strips, frozen pizza, mac and cheese, canned chili, and then string cheese, but then I'll also buy like a case of soda, or I'll buy 2 and get 2 for free because it's the most cost-effective way to stock up. And then 1 bag of chips per grocery trip.
You see, Seth, I get where you're coming from, but people who do things like you do are frankly small. In many cases, because staff has allowed people to buy junk, most people just choose to buy nothing but junk food, and that's part of that. And that has contributed to the obesity crisis across the nation.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I noticed something. I opened a can of Baja Blast the other day, and it's clear now. It's not green.
Oh.
Actually, I wonder, is my Diet Coke green? Or no, is my Diet Coke clear?
I hope it's not green. That'd be a problem.
Yes, that would cause me to question a few things. No, I don't see the bottom of the can, so the Diet Coke is not clear. We could absolutely make clear Diet Coke, by the way, because Crystal Pepsi was a thing in the 80s, and it tasted no different.
So, like, wait, question though. So, by clear, do you mean like you could see the bottom of the can, or that the liquid itself is clear?
I could see the bottom of the can because the liquid itself was clear.
Oh, okay. On the Baja Blast, right?
Yeah.
Oh, but the bottom isn't clear on the Coke can.
No.
Oh. I'm really glad I bought this box of tissues by my bedside because this is getting annoying.
Yeah.
Also, the thing about the can, it reminds me a lot of what happened with Capri Sun back in the day. Are you aware of the Capri Sun black ink incident?
No, I am not. What's that about?
So basically what had happened was some mom, she got the Capri Sun for her kids, but then the kids, it tasted kind of funny, so she squirts the thing on a napkin, and all she saw was like black goop coming out the thing.
Holy
and she's
shit!
Like what the heck is this? So she posted on Facebook. There was a whole outrage over it, and in response to controversy, the people who make Capri Sun, I can't remember who makes it, but the company that makes Capri Sun basically changed all the packaging so at the bottom of the thing you can now see the juice inside.
That's pretty good, actually. It's funny. I don't actually. Connor isn't that captivating of a character to me, but I do find that I relate to him a lot. He's very idealistic, values freedom above most anything else.
Yeah, I can see why you might like him.
And yet, he's not my favorite character from Assassin's Creed. That's Edward Kenway.
Yeah, I get it. You're a pirate, dude. Ooh, hey Sith, which kind of if you had to choose, which kind of political party would you support? Would you rather support a party that puts an emphasis on, like, faith and nation, or a party that puts an emphasis on economics and freedom?
That's really tough, actually. Because faith and nation, I agree with, but the problem is, if they don't value freedom, they could very easily slip into tyranny. Whereas economics and freedom, the problem with that is if they don't value the nation, they could sell our country out. So I don't think that either is really an ideal party.
Alright. So what I was thinking about was that, don't think of it as like one or the other. What I was thinking is that, like, and more so they prioritize certain things but policy in others. Like, so let's say, like, with the nation, like, faith party, they do have policies on, like, freedom and economics, but their priority is on nation and faith. And with the other party, you know, they do have policies regarding nation and faith, but their focus is primarily on freedom and economics. So it's not like the Democratic Republicans were like total opposites. It's more like there's some similarities, but they focus on different things.
In that case, I would probably support the freedom and economics first and foremost.
Yeah, that's usually my thing as well. And I get where you're coming from, like, both sides. It's like, you know, I think there needs to be a right, because typically, I was watching a video of Mr. Z about the different factions of the right and the 4 core categories, you know, which are basically, you know, economics, nation, freedom, and faith. And most conservatives, like, it's not exactly just only one. Many fall into, like, 2 or 3 categories, depending on the person. There's some, like, broad coalitions on the right that focus on different things, primarily. But, like, it's really fascinating how diverse the kind of ideology of the right truly is when you look at it in the grand scheme of things.
Oh yeah, no, it's because the defense of liberty makes for strange bedfellows. I've even had to defend Nick Fuentes and his ilk from time to time.
Yeah, the only time I would defend someone like that is if somebody was, like, taking them out of context and accusing them of something they didn't do, in which case, no, that's not true. And I would just show, like, and do something like that, yeah. And that makes sense, though. If someone's, like, not guilty of something, you don't want them on the bus just because you disagree with their ideology.
Yeah, well, it's because I'm of the mind that I have a very nuanced take when it comes to Jews and Israel at this point. Do I believe the shit that I did back when I was unmedicated? Do I think Omen is right? No. However, do I think he has the right to be wrong? Yes. If people want to boycott, divest, and sanction a certain country, not just Israel, they are within their right to do so. That's how freedom of association works.
Yeah, I would argue the Civil Rights Act in many ways is kind of a violation of freedom of association.
It is.
Because on the one...
There's actually a lot of, like, you don't follow libertarians like I do. Mentis Wave and a lot of the non-cringe libertarians are actually currently advocating for the abolition of the Civil Rights Act because of its impediment on freedom of association, and its absolutely absurd conclusion, legally speaking, that disparate outcomes mean discrimination.
Yeah, and it also another thing is that like it has a policy where like if you have more than like 15 employees, a certain percentage of your workforce has to reflect like the general population. And to be frank, that's not really feasible in many cases because you don't have an equal amount of people applying to every job that are qualified for those roles. So what ends up happening, and you see this a lot with like really big companies, is that they'll just have a section of roles that are specifically designed to meet that quota set by the government. And more often than not, they don't last more than a year before getting replaced by another token candidate. And you can kind of tell who's a token and who's not based on what kind of job they do and how they're performing and how well they do it. Um, and it's something like that. Whereas I think we have purely merit-based society, people will be hired and fired based on how well they can do the job, which is how it should be done. Now, am I in favor of
Absolutely.
like now, if I'm does that mean in favor of like the Jim Crow style policies or black people were just straight up banned from stores and had to threat the government force? Not necessarily. Do I think that like government should force people to hire people? No, either. I think every individual has the right to hire and fire or associate or disassociate with whoever they please for any reason, so long as it's not to cause explicit harm to another person or on behalf of someone else.
Agreed. The simple summary of libertarian philosophy, it's really easy to understand. Your rights end where another person's rights begin.
Yeah, that's really not, it's not the first time I've heard that. And I do want to circle back to the civil rights thing really briefly because
Nice to
I
meet
remember
you.
I was watching
I'm
a
Garlic.
all right, what was I? Yes, so I was watching a backstage a couple years ago, and this was shortly after Roe v. Wade had been overturned by that court decision in 2022. And someone in the chat actually reporting, "Hey, what do you think should happen next?" And he goes, "Yeah, I think we should overturn the Civil Rights Act." Now, at the time, I was a bit confused. I'm like, well, what's wrong with the Civil Rights Act? I don't get the issue there. But then, after looking into the issue, and especially the points you brought up, because I've known some of this stuff for a while, but it's like, yeah, I can see why some conservatives and even libertarians would be against the Civil Rights Act, because in practice, it has led to this form of like positive discrimination, where people are simply hired because their skin color to not to meet a quota, which is still because it does disservice to the company at large and also the person who is being targeted with these kind of practices.
Yeah. You think the price of houses will ever come down?
My guess is I think it's kind of like classic supply and demand thing, where part of the reason the housing is so high is because there's just a huge demand for houses. But once that demand dies down and people just aren't buying houses anymore, and especially they reform the housing market so that like foreign countries and governments can't buy up land, then like what's going to end up happening is the people who are selling houses are going to be forced to sell whatever property they have at lower and lower prices.
Yeah, when houses went from being a what's the term? I'm trying to remember the like academic term for it. You have goods, and there's a type of good where it's a speculative asset, and houses used to not be a speculative asset, but we turned them into those. With how the real estate market works and investing and allowing basically companies to buy up entire neighborhoods.
Yeah, I think the issue with there is that because an issue what happened was the government was actually what's this? Singles mission.
Yeah, it's the main story.
All right. Before we get started, I just want to make a quick point about the housing thing. So, what had happened was initially people just bought houses with whatever money they could afford. This is back when houses were like 6,000 a pop on average. But then the government started incentivizing. That was weird. Anyway, so what happened was the government started incentivizing banks to like give loans to people who couldn't qualify for them, and threatened to secure them if they didn't. And so people were giving out loans to people who didn't qualify for homes, and this went on for like 30 years until the 2008 housing crisis, and things have been going sideways ever since. And once again, the housing market is another.
But the price of housing has been going up and out of control ever since the 1950s. It's been steadily progressing. And not helping things and compounding the matter is the American wages have not risen to meet the demands of the economy.
You know what's really fascinating though? Prior to the 1970s, the wage growth was on par with the inflation rate, but then as soon as women started entering the workforce in mass, the wage growth slashed in half and has not recovered.
Yep. That's also why I think women shouldn't have careers.
Well, I think there's certain jobs such as teaching and nursing where women actually thrive, and historically speaking, that's the kind of jobs that they did do. But I also think that like part of the problem is the fact that we treat men and women as basically the same, which has actually blurred the lines between the sexes in a way that's only been a detriment to society. And we just make those gender roles more clear, more concise, but show there's dignity in both roles, both the roles for man and the role for women, then I think you're going to see a bit of improvement, not just economically, but also culturally and socially.
Well, I'll tell you this, if women didn't have careers, they would be more encouraged to get married.
Yep. Like, it's one thing if you're a young single person, you don't have much going on, but like, but that's how it used to be, right? There were, back in the 1800s, there were women who worked in factories and stuff because they were young, single, they didn't have much going on. But, once they got married, they didn't transition from work life to house life, and they would help the husband and the family, and they'd be, and that's another benefit about, women in the home was that it wasn't just their home. If they were in a suburban community, they could actually help other people in the town. Like, they'd be the ones who would check in not only on other wives, of course, but also on elderly people who couldn't leave the house as much, people who are, poor and destitute on the streets. Like, they're better equipped to help because they're always there, so they know who's there, who does what.
Right.
And they were pillars of their community. But as soon as they took the women out of there, there's now no one really left to watch, like, the people who actually need the help.
Yeah. And I also don't think women should vote, either. But that's for entirely different reasons. Namely because they're exempt from the draft.
Yeah, and you know what's funny, though? Women actually didn't want to vote when they were first proposed back in the late 1800s, and the reason why was specifically because they did not want to get drafted. And so, basically, in order for 19th Amendment to pass, they changed the rules so that if you're a woman, you don't have to be drafted for, like, the military.
Technically, I shouldn't be voting either if I'm logically applying my principles because I'm exempt from the draft because of my laundry list of mental illnesses.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Some people think voting is a right. I just see it more as a privilege, especially if, like, you're a citizen who owns property and is trying to help your community. That's where it should be, because you're not entitled for the ability to vote. It's more so, it's a duty you're called to serve as a citizen of a nation.
Yes.
Yeah, it's sort of different. So people get, like, rights, duties, and commodities all mixed up together, where it's like, we need to get our definitions clear, and the lack of clarity so it's caused so many problems that we have today. But once we clear that stuff up, then we can start slowly but surely fixing all the other stuff.
I wish I could declare myself Emperor of America and just, like, start applying my reforms based on the list of, like, I sent you my list of reforms, remember? Like, that was some time ago.
Oh my goodness, dude. I remember, I wish I put it like a PDF or something. That was very cool. Honestly, your best shot of doing that is either becoming president yourself sometime in the near future, or the other alternative would be, if, heaven forbid, America collapses and a new government is established, then if you're able to take the reins of power, you can walk in and be like, okay, here's how we're going to fix this.
Yeah, I once had a dream that America had like a second revolution, and for whatever reason, I was decided on as the person to act as America's new president, essentially. And the first thing I did when I got to the Oval Office is I prayed that because I was married and had kids for some reason, I prayed that my son would grow into a strong man despite living in good times.
That's very sweet of you. All right, sorry to delay, folks. Back to the story.
Yeah. Hey, that's what makes us interesting. We have conversations like these.
You made it here in one piece.
Here.
Recovered from your beating, then?
Benjamin Church is holed up on an abandoned brewery on the waterfront. We should be done with this by sunrise.
Good. I would like to have those supplies returned as soon as possible.
Of course. I wouldn't want to keep you from your lost cause. Come along, then. Follow me.
Hatham is a cunt. I forgot he was such a dick to Connor.
Yeah, that's because they're on the same side of the conflict. I think if he was part of the Templars, their relationship would be slightly different.
Oh, no doubt. Hey Rick, in the Assassin's Creed universe, who would you side with? Templars or the Assassins?
That's a tricky question. I know, historically speaking, the Templars were initially tied to the Crusades, because, there was that. But the problem is, in this universe, they're basically this world's version of Illuminati, and, totally says to just brainwashing and stuff, which I'm not cool with. So, I'd probably side with the assassin.
You could have killed me when we
I
first
probably would have sided with
stayed
either
your
one,
hand?
just depending on where I'm at in life.
Curiosity. Any other questions?
What is it the Templars truly seek?
Order. Purpose. Direction. No more than that. It's your lot that means to confound with this nonsense talk of freedom. Time was. The assassins professed a far more sensible goal. That of peace.
Freedom is peace.
Oh no. It's an invitation to chaos. Only look at this little revolution your friends have started. I have stood before the Continental Congress and listened to them stamp and shout. All in the name of liberty. But it is just noise.
And this is why you favor Lee?
He understands the needs of this would-be nation far better than the jobberknolls who profess to represent it.
Yeah, but Lee wasn't appointed by the people.
Has tasted sour grapes. The people have made their choice, and it was Washington.
People chose nothing. It was done by a group of privileged cowards seeking only to enrich themselves.
That's actually half
and made
true.
a decision that would benefit them.
The reason the American Revolution was so successful was because the colonists were effectively backed by a group of counter elites
I do not feign affection.
that were just discontent with the rule of the monarchy at the time, or the parliament. Actually, a lot of people talk shit about King George when they're summarizing the American Revolution, but 90% of the decisions made that pissed off the colonists were made by Parliament, not the king.
Yeah, the only I think to be fair, the king's words didn't help things, because I actually believe that if the king had actually shown more sympathy with the people in the colonies and actually gave them the help to give them the representation they were asking for, because that's what they really wanted. They didn't want to leave the nation. They just want representation in Parliament.
Yeah.
If the king had heeded their request and sympathized with them, it's very likely the revolution could have been prevented. Who knows? Maybe part of Britain today, if things had gone differently.
Oh man, God forbid. Could you imagine? That would be hell.
See, but that's why I think it's also a good thing that King George rejected the people's plea, because if he had answered our plea, we wouldn't be who we are today. Actually, I don't even know if I'd be here by this point. Or my family, for that matter.
Hold a moment.
Oh, it's not using the right outfit.
Oh, it is using it.
What is it?
I was hoping I could wave you past the guards, but it has replaced most of them with men I don't know. Well, I should be able to pass without arousing suspicion, but you...
No. We do this together or not at all.
Then what do you propose?
I will find a guard who is off duty and take his uniform.
Very well. I will wait here, then.
Of course you will.
Oh, I'm sorry. Would you like me to come along and hold your hand, perhaps? Provide kind words of encouragement?
Whoa.
That's
yeah, I think that was done
interesting.
for. That's what it is. I think it was just done for story purposes. That's probably what that was.
Odd too, because we've gone to plenty of other story cutscenes and it's shown the right outfit.
Maybe because the point of this mission is to steal a guard's uniform. And that's hard to do if you just look like a guard.
Yeah. That could be it. Oh yeah, did you know that the fuckheads behind Collective Shout defended cuties when that was relevant?
What about Collective Shout? Sorry, I missed that part.
They defended the movie Cuties back when that was relevant.
Interesting. Who was called the shout again? Oh, were those the guys defunded by MasterCard or something?
They were the ones that encouraged MasterCard to and PayPal and Visa to defund Steam, itch.io, and do all this nonsense.
Oh, well,
Hold,
explains
strangers.
double things.
You tread on private property. What business have you here?
The father of understanding guides us.
You I recognize, not the savage.
He is my son.
Tasted of the forest fruits, did you? Off you go, then.
Wow. Oh, will you look at that? My sister's dog is in her bed.
Nice.
That's the first time I've seen her there all week.
Complete 50% of the progress tracker entries. Nice. It's too bad you don't get to keep this outfit. I kind of like it. Not as much as Captain of the Aquila, but it's a bit less conspicuous.
Give me a moment.
Must be strange for you, discovering my existence as you have.
I'm actually curious to know what your mother might have said about me. Always wondered what life might have been like had she and I stayed together. How is she, by the way?
Dead. Murdered.
What? I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, you're sorry. I found my mother burning alive. I'll never forget her face as she sent me away. Charles Lee is responsible for her death by your order. And you're sorry.
It's impossible. I gave no such order. I spoke the opposite, in fact. I told them to give up the search for the precursor site. We were to focus on more practical pursuit.
It is done, and I'm all out of forgiveness.
Really? So then I wonder who set the fire then.
It's Lee, obviously. He's a shithead.
Incoming at break.
Oh, you know what? You're right.
Benjamin Church. You stand accused of betraying the Templar Order and abandoning our principles in pursuit of personal gain. In consideration of your crime, I hereby sentence you to death.
No! You're too late. Church and the cargo are long gone. And I'm afraid you won't be in any condition to follow. We've chosen to stand with the victor. It's Britain who will win this war. You always did prefer principle to profit. Perhaps that's why your little kingdom started to crumble.
Man, that guy with the axe is gonna be fucking trouble.
But a dream is all it ever was. Look at the half-breed fight, like some feral dog. Best we put him down, boys.
Those two! Get them! Don't let them escape! Get it! The Indian too! Take him down! That one! And he's half-breed! Surround them!
Shit. They just keep coming.
Where is Church?
I'll tell you anything you want. Only promise that you'll let me live.
You have my word.
He left yesterday for Martinique. Took passage on a trading sloop called the Welcome. Loaded half its hold with the supplies he stole from the patriots.
Oh,
That's
sloops,
all
those
I
are
know,
tiny.
I
It's gonna take
swear.
him a while to reach there.
You promised.
And he kept his word. Let's go.
Uh-oh.
That could be a problem.
Better get out of there. Well, never mind. My sister's dog went on the bed again.
Yeah.
We need to get out of here.
You don't say.
Oh, what the shit?
Now is not the time for sightseeing.
Go under, you fool.
So close, yet so far. You'll need to find a way around the flames.
Better get going.
Back here, traitors! Oh, how I'll
What the fuck?
Oh.
Man, the pathing in this game is jank as shit.
You rewarded handsomely. And what good does your gold do you now?
There we go.
Is it magic gold, you think? Like the one they spun the fleece from? You think it will shield you from the flames? I thought you had this all sewn up. So why do you run from us, hmm? You should sit...
That wasn't very smart.
Stuck. See if you can find something to pry it open. Honor? What are you up to? Oh, no. Don't do that. There's no way of knowing what's on the other side!
Nice.
He did say it was on the waterfront.
Yeah.
We do now.
Ah, there we go. Much better.
Hatham's face looks like an actor I've seen in a movie before, but I can't quite place who it is.
Maybe it's one of the face of the voice
Church
actor
is
who
at
played
least a
it.
day on us. We must move quickly if we're to catch him.
I have a ship we can use. Meet me on the pier when you're ready.
Yeah, my computer was getting oddly warm. Like, what's this all about? Then I realized, oh, I had some apps open in the background. Once I closed those, then the temperature dropped.
Nice.
Yeah, folks. Yeah, keep on your background apps, folks. That can affect CPU performance as well.
Shall we? I told you this was a poor heading. Church is surely days ahead of us now.
Have some faith in the boy. He's yet to disappoint.
Well, the bar's not been set very high now, has it?
We are closer than you think, Father.
Ship ho!
That is not a sloop.
Is it the welcome? Aye,
And she's dropped anchor. Bring us in for a closer look, son.
That looks more like a brig.
It seems the ship has been abandoned.
Church always was a slippery little bastard. After them! Full sail!
Yeah, unfortunately, the VA for Hatham Kenway is unknown. Well, not unknown, but like there's no article on him, so I can't pull up his IMDb.
Oh boy, yeah.
That was not very smart, my friend.
It's almost as though you want him to escape.
You complaining is not going to make this ship any faster, dimwit. Holy shit! Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Now I remember why the sailing mechanic is talked down on with
You came to captain a ship, given the way.
Okay. This is a fucking embarrassment. I'm gonna reload the last checkpoint. I am ashamed right now.
Shame, shame, shame. Hit the button of shame.
We don't have a shame button for me.
Yeah, and this is why Mike has still got his actually. I think Mike has a new show now, actually.
Yeah,
hey,
on the grind.
Yeah. Have you getting any updates from his campaigns from Indiegogo?
Yeah, actually. He's trying to resume production on Three Nights and Englewood too.
Someone with more experience should take the wheel.
Alright. Don't lose him.
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
How is it you came to captain a ship, given the way you sail?
Come on, come on.
It's almost as though you want him to escape.
Hatham, I will throw you in the fucking brig if you don't shut the hell up.
Speed, Connor! We need more speed!
I am aware.
Watch out for the wall!
Hell yeah.
That was close.
Can the ship go no faster?
I have only the wind and the waves to work with.
Someone with more experience should take the wheel.
Alright. I think now's a good time to speed up. The wind's right behind you.
What was that about it being behind us?
I said the wind's right, well, it was right behind you, now it's on this side. But yeah, I think, yeah, increase the sail, take advantage of that wind. We're getting
She's
close.
passing between the cliffs, boy, and the Aquila's too big to follow. We need to go around. God damn it! We're going to lose him!
What other choice have we? Those rocks would crush us.
The
No
current
need,
here
there's
is
the
swift.
wind.
We still have a chance.
Keep going.
Enemy ships approaching!
That is a frigate.
Ready our weapons! The batteries
Some of the best British ships were frigates.
There's a reason the British dominating the
Curtis
sea.
using the ambush as cover. Sink him before he escapes. Send that bastard to the seafloor.
No! I need his ship afloat! The cargo must be saved!
I'm gonna do something crazy.
What are you doing?
Stop him, Connor!
That.
Whoa!
Do not let Church escape!
How do I fucking fire this bitch?
Did you figure out how to fire?
Evidently.
They should have paused and stick with the controls.
True target! You should have listened to me! He's nearly away!
Something's wrong.
What's up?
It's not responding to the controls for firing the guns.
Interesting. Try restarting the checkpoint, see if that fixes it.
Yeah, that's taking cover. Why? What's happening here?
Are you pressing right click or left click?
I'm pressing left click or right click to hold that reticle, but right click seems to have us take cover. Shift should have us firing the guns, but it's not.
Something happened.
Yeah, we got hit. That's what happened.
Alright, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Try restarting and see if it works now. And if not, maybe a brief restart might be the trick.
Aha! Okay, yeah, that's definitely different from Assassin's Creed 4. So I figured it out. You have to hold left shift and then let go to fire. This should take down the sails. That is not what I meant to do.
Train shot, Connor! Or have you decided you do want to destroy Church's ship?
Wait for it.
Bro, you're gonna hit the ship!
Now we're good. That little filthy gunboat is outside of my range. Oh wait, I know. There we go. Now for the man of war.
Remember, don't forget the chainsaws.
Yeah, we've already got chain shot equipped. It's not nothing we need to worry about.
Dude, you're almost out of health.
Where do you see the oh, yeah, I see that now.
Dude, that pays your health, bro.
I've had worse odds in a ship battle than this. We'll be fine.
Okie dokie.
Told ya.
Nice.
Even when I don't know what I'm doing, I'm still really damn good at ship-to-ship combat.
Neat.
It's like I was born for this sort of thing.
Prepare to board! What are you doing? Ending this.
Dialects, I just watched season 2, episode 6 of Dan Danan, and holy shit, a heavy metal band that played for the exorcism scene. They were able to awaken a mosh pit of 1,000 spirits from their graves to help with the exorcism. These 4 band members aren't even spirit mediums, and yet their music can be heard in the spirit realm. That sounds like some Metalocalypse shit right there. Man, I miss Metalocalypse. That was a great show. Okay. Captain's dead. I think. He was dressed like one, at least. If Ozzy Osbourne was still alive, he would have loved that scene. Oh, I bet. You know, one of my favorite quotes from a musician comes from Ozzy Osbourne. People are calling me a Satanist. They're saying my music can summon demons. I can barely summon myself out of bed in the morning for some coffee, much less summon a demon.
What has Church done with the cargo?
Probably threw it overboard.
Yeah, could be. Why can't I run? Do I really have to walk?
You're not walking, you're sleuthing.
Let me tell you, working my way through your nasty little tricks and traps. Clever! Some of them anyway. I'll give you credit for that.
Enough! We came here for a reason.
Different reasons, it seems.
Jeez!
Where are the supplies you stole?
Go to hell.
I ask again. Where are the supplies?
On the island yonder. Awaiting pickup. But you've no right to it. It isn't yours.
No, not mine. Those supplies are meant for men and women who believe in something bigger than themselves. Who fight and die that one day they might be free from tyranny such as yours.
Are these the same men and women who fight with muskets forged from British steel? Who bind their wounds with bandages sewn by British hands? How convenient for them. We do the work. They reap the rewards.
You spin a story to excuse your crimes, as though you're the innocent one and they the thieves.
It's all a matter of perspective. There is no single path through life that's right and fair and does no harm. Do you truly think the Crown has no cause? No right to feel betrayed? You should know better than this. As dedicated as you are to fighting Templars, who themselves see their work as just. Think on that the next time you insist your work alone befits the greater good. Your enemy would beg to differ, and would not be without cause.
Your words may have been sincere, but that does not make them true.
You did well. His passing was a boon for us both. Come on. I expect you'll want my help retrieving everything from the island.
There we go.
I have been reunited with my father, but I do not yet know if this bodes well or ill. Our goals are aligned, at least so far as independence is concerned. But he continues to defend Charles Lee, the man who murdered my mother and burned my village. Still, he makes a point about Washington and those who back him. I hear much talk of freedom and equality, but it seems one must be a landed white man to benefit. What if someone like me, or Surrey, What role for us in this new world? Is my father right then? There is so much I must consider and so little time in which to do it.
By the way, this heavy metal band's music was so spiritually strong it caused a mountain yokai, which they were exercising, that was worshipped as a god to shake and pound, shake around in pain.
Achilles, I owe you an apology. It was wrong of me to say the things I did.
Your words were harsh, Connor, but there was also truth there. I failed the Order, allowed the Templars to take control.
But now their hold is weakened, which makes me believe there's a chance for peace. Imagine what might be accomplished if we were to unite.
Why the change of heart? Where is this coming from? You've met your father, haven't you?
I do not claim to trust the man or even like him. But I would be remiss to ignore this opportunity.
Hatham may listen, but will he understand? And even if he does, will he agree?
Even he must admit that we can achieve more together than we do alone.
I assume you're off to find him.
Yes. I ride for New York to see what might be done.
That was all well and good, but I want to craft some stuff that that we got from the almanac pages.
Hey Seth, I don't know if you heard the news, but it just got announced earlier today. President Trump is going to meet with President Putin in Alaska next Friday.
Why do I get the feeling that we're walking into a trap? And no, I'm not talking about the game. I mean, in regards to what you just told me.
Yeah, my guess is probably something to do with Ukraine. I did read somewhere, I don't know if this is true enough, I read somewhere that Putin would agree to peace talks with Ukraine if he basically gets eastern Ukraine.
And Zelensky's just going to agree to that?
Well, it's my understanding Russia's been occupying the eastern part of Ukraine for quite some time, and it's been a stalemate for the last 2 or 3 years, so unless something drastic changes for either side, I do think what's probably going to end up happening is in the peace talks, Ukraine's probably going to be split in half between, east and west, with the western half probably staying neutral and eastern falling under Russian control. And for those who don't know, eastern Ukraine is predominantly populated by either Russian people or people who sympathize with Russia. So there will be that going on as well. We'll have to wait and see, of course. Like I said, talks are for another week. We'll wait and see what happens there. We know Trump has met with Zelensky a couple of times throughout this year, but he's yet to meet with Putin. We'll see how that plays out. Though I will say this, one thing about Trump's foreign policy, he's gotten a lot of peace deals done and prevented several major conflicts. I don't know if you're aware of this, but there was actually supposed to be a war between India and Pakistan, but thanks to Trump's effort, that war ended up not happening.
Yeah, I heard about the scuffle between India and Pakistan, but I didn't know that Trump was responsible for there not being a all-out war between the two of them. World War Poo, as I was going to call it.
Oh, jeez. You know what's crazy, though? America's actually raising sanctions on India because it turns out they've actually been buying oil from the Russians. That's been indirectly helping their war effort against Ukraine. So to discourage them from supporting, Russia any further, he's putting tariffs to get them to stop, buying Russian oil, effectively.
Nice.
Now, India's not cooperating. In fact, they're trying to raise tariffs on our goods as well, so we'll see who can outlast what. But given how much money's been spending on...
Sorry, I just crafted the best sword in the game, and it also looks really nice.
Ah, Lincoln sword. Yeah, I saw. Yeah, but anyways, we'll see, because India's very dependent on other nations for shipping their workers and stuff. So I could see this going south pretty quickly on their end, especially if they're not able to find work outside the country.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that happens there. There's another peace deal recently announced between Armenia and some other country. That just happened earlier today.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's some progress on that front. Princess. Yeah, that's the thing about this administration. There's actually been so many wins that have been happening over the last 6 months. It's just so easy to lose track.
Yeah.
Like, I would argue it's far easier to focus on the parts where the Trump administration is not doing as well than on all the places where they are doing as well. However, I noticed that the places where they're not doing as well doesn't seem to be much of a focus. And, when it comes to elections and stuff, 90% of the time, it's the economy, stupid. And as long as that's doing well and people are satisfied, the party in power will remain in power. Unless they're not satisfied, in which the party out of power will come back into power. That's typically how things work.
Right.
Like, the only time that wasn't the case was in 2020, 1920, and that's because in both years, we were dealing with a pandemic. And even then, the reason why it was such a big deal those years was because of its impact on the economy. That's why it's... Oh, one second.
Sure.
What's it, Princess?
Now, I need to craft glass bottles, but I don't know how to do that. Crafting... best... I need to make that, and that. I need glass bottles, barrels, disinfectant... Glass bottles, here we go.
Incoming at break.
I need Lindsay Woolsey. Red bandages, lanterns, bear firearms, cotton crates. Can I craft musket balls? More supplies. Miscellaneous, metalwork, medication, food, clothing, alcohol, materials. And now we need Big Dave to reach level 4. So let's go out on the home front, or homestead, and see see about that. I wonder if the stuff we crafted from the almanac will show up as furniture in the house. Doesn't look like it. Look at the engraving on the guard. That's nice. I wish I could zoom in on it. Now, yeah, here's some homestead missions. Oh, I have more bullets for my pistol now. That's nice.
Yeah, man. Nice to meet you. I'm Garlic.
Can I jump? No, I can't. There we go.
Alright, I'm back. I had to do some chaos downstairs, but it's all taken care of. Ish.
Well, welcome back. Glad everything's alright.
Cool.
Interestingly, the stuff from the almanac that you craft can't be used to decorate the house. which is weird. I thought they would.
Hey,
That is
Connor.
very interesting.
You have business in New York on occasion? I only ask because I ordered a package from France and it's long overdue. I've written a postmaster and he's yet to respond. I thought you could inquire in person if you had the chance.
I will pass by the next time I am there.
Find Lance's contact in New York. Okay. And then we have another homestead mission here.
Yeah. I gotta check one more thing. I'll be right back.
Alright, go for it. I will do my very best to keep our audience entertained.
They'll have to get through us first. Connor, there you are.
We're coming, David. We need to be ready.
Who is coming?
Redcoats. David's to be tried for treason. Executed, more than likely.
Connor, glad you're here. I want to show you something. I've collected these kegs. I might suggest building an ambush in the event we need it. They'll likely outnumber us at least 2 to 1.
I'll place that here. Now we're probably going to see these enemies come in waves, so...
I can hear them coming.
What's going on here?
The Redcoats are coming to try Big Dave for treason. We're going to put a stop to that.
Ah, sounds like a plan.
David Woolston, turn yourself in and stand before a military tribunal on charges of treason and desertion.
I don't want any part of this war. There's more coming, I'm sure of it. Get ready.
Come on, Connor, move.
I just like how they all stand like a single file line. That was so funny.
Well, yeah, that's partly why they lost.
Connor, I'm sorry for bringing this violence on the village.
We protect our own. The British will not risk losing more soldiers for one deserter. You are free of it now.
That was really anticlimactic. And they just marched up to the powder keg.
Dude, that was hilarious. Man, no wonder they freaking lost the war. I'm like, how are you gonna see someone putting a freaking powder keg right in front of your face? You just march right past it. You think you're not gonna shoot it? Unless that was a barrel, in which case, well, that's on them. You know what's funny? In Majora's Mask, one of Goron Link's core abilities is the ability to throw powder kegs.
Really?
Yeah, it caused a massive explosion.
You know, I've... Oh.
Welcome's pickaxe.
Chibi! Julie Tender, High Boats, and Motors, who tied the waves and the turtlenecks. Yes, hello to you too, Chibi. But yeah, as I was gonna say, I actually have never played that much of Majora's Mask. I've actually, I read the manga instead when I was in high school.
My friend, you gotta fix that. I think you'd really like it.
I did experiment with it when I had when I was first getting into emulating games back as a teenager, and I'm like, eh. I wasn't a big fan of the whole 3 days thing.
Yeah, I think if they over-released for 64DD, they could have used the real-world clock, and instead of in 24 hours actually last 24 hours.
Yeah, that would be nice.
day goes by that one of the boys doesn't hurt himself. I'll get some rest with the doctor around, sending the boys his way.
I know what you mean. Maria is all over the property like a mad girl.
That reminds me.
Norris found her in
I
his
saw
barn yesterday with a great big gash in her knee. That girl, I tell you.
I saw a video
It sounds like you
claiming
all
that
have
the
your
boys
hands full.
comic is worse than the TV
You
show.
can say that. Having the
No, according to
doctor
Micah
here is
Curtis,
good
it's
for
the other
all
way
of us,
around.
Connor.
I
Thank
think
you
that's
for
the
finding
general
him and bringing
consensus.
him here.
I like the comic way better than the TV
I
show
only brought
too.
him the offer.
Yeah, because the comic was a commentary on the Bush presidency, whereas the TV show, they retooled it more a commentary on the Trump presidency. But I don't think a lot of it works quite as well. If anything, I think it kind of dates it, if more severely than like the Boys one did. Because even to say George W. Bush is not very well liked among the majority of Americans, whereas
No, even
Trump is actually
even Republicans hate George W. Bush at this point, and rightly so.
Yeah, you know what's so funny? There was some CBS poll that came out. You know, CBS is kind of BS anyway. But there was a CBS poll that came out that supposedly claimed that George Bush has like a 68% approval rating from Zoomers, and I'm like, that is BS.
That's retarded. Chibi in the chat, which comic I was putting my headphones on? The Boys. It was that anti-superhero show / comic.
Yeah. Did you know that that show was actually made by Sony?
Huh. I'm not surprised, but I'm also like, I didn't see it coming either.
Yeah, I think with Invincible, that was made in-house at Amazon, but like, the Boys show was actually made by Sony Pictures. Because unlike the other movie studios, Columbia Pictures is the only one that doesn't have their own streaming service. They just license out their stuff to other people. Like the K-pop movie that came out recently, the Demon Hunter movie, that was made by Sony Pictures Animation.
Chibi, oh, The Boys, I've heard of that one. Yeah. I want to read the comic at some point because I've seen summaries of it, but
the whole comic's for free online. You can read the whole comic online for free.
Really?
Yeah, I read through the first issue. It was okay. A bit too bland for my liking, but let's see.
I personally don't like it, but I heard a lot of Has Been Hotel fans like it. That's really weird. Honestly, I don't like Has Been Hotel. I tried it, can't stand it.
Yeah, it sounds kind of bleh from what I've heard as well.
Although it is a hilarious cell phone that hell is full of gay people and basically the San Francisco types. It's like, what did they mean by this? Wait, no, Frontier. Oh, here we go. Oh, there's a mission at the manor too? Okay, we'll just fast travel there. I saw a pretty funny Stone Toss comic about Has Been Hotel the other day. That got a good chuckle out of me.
I have the painting you sent me for.
I only watch
like
it
some
for the
help
fan
painting?
service because I'm very based fangirl. I'm a based fangirl to an extent.
Here we go. Hey, are you familiar with DC's Compact Comics?
No, I'm not.
So basically, DC Compact Comics is essentially, it's kind of similar to like their graphic novels, except they're designed to be more like by book format. Because basically, what DC's trying to do is compete more with manga, because manga's been doing really good recently. So what they did was they took their
because manga isn't cucked and woke.
Well, not just that, but also the formatting works a lot better for like, because they're basically books, right? And they're easier to carry around in backpacks and stuff. You can read them in school. And so what DC did was they took their most iconic series from their legacy library, and they're adapting them into this manga-like format to where you can now read as if it were a book. And they've actually been doing extremely well.
Well, good for them, I guess.
Yeah.
What is it, old man?
Just an old painting.
I have gathered that much. Why will you not open it?
It is something close to me. Something that I can't bear to look at just yet. Perhaps someday I will muster up the courage to gaze upon it again. But not yet.
Light novels are book versions of manga, I think, and visual novels are manga versions of video games. More like video game versions of manga, but yes. Oh yes, that's what I meant, yeah. Man, I really hope I get more hours at work next week. I only got 3 hours this week. Yeesh.
Oh yeah, so it looks like you only worked on Monday then.
Yeah. I was supposed to work on Wednesday, but my shift got canceled. Because they were gonna, because I can't stand working in the back because of all the noise. There's this thing I have where I can handle, I actually want background noise, however, if there's too much noise layered on top of each other, then it starts to fuck with me. And, like, I can handle maybe 2 different noises, but anything past that, it's too much for me and it starts messing with me. And when you're in the back, you have to deal with the oven, the freezer, the TV that they have back there, and as well as, oh god, I'm trying to remember what other I could only trace like 3 sources of noise, and you might ask, well, why not just use your earbuds? Well, I tried that, and apparently that's a health code violation.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not allowed to use my earbuds to drown the noise out. So I requested that I be able to work up front, and this week they had all the front shifts covered already. Not helping things is apparently they overhired, which I got a sense that they did early on, but I'm like, it helps that it's confirmed now.
Yeah, didn't you tell me that already? I'm pretty sure you already mentioned that.
I might have. I also did some more job hunting this week on LinkedIn, and I applied through the websites instead of on LinkedIn Easy Apply, but I still got nothing so far.
Yeah, usually when you apply things, it happens about like 2 to 3 weeks to get a response from most companies. That's usually how it works.
If
But,
they
like,
reply to you at all.
True, and you can always remember you can always follow up if like it's been 2 weeks you don't hear a response.
Yeah.
There's actually a benefit with LinkedIn. It's like you can actually find recruiters from the companies you're applying to and connect with them and try and stay in touch. So that way they can keep you up to date on like jobs, not just the current role, but also any future roles that could be out there.
Yama. You got blood on my nice trousers.
Oh, no. Yeah, Marvel actually responded with their line of Premiere comics. They aren't as many of them as the DC ones, but my only thing is that they actually are. It's interesting because they're actually slightly bigger than the compact comics, but not by much. So it might be a little bit trickier to carry, but also another downside is that they're actually slightly more expensive because the DC compact comics are only $10 a volume, whereas the Marvel Premiere collection is like $15 a volume.
Ah.
Yeah, when you're talking cash and you're like a kid with a little bit of money, they're probably gonna go with the compact collection. It's just a little bit cheaper, and it's also easier to carry around.
That's one of the cool things about Big Finish. I've probably mentioned them before. I've reviewed some of the stories they've made on the To Be Continued. They're the ones that do the Doctor Who audio stories. Their older stories are about the price of a candy bar, and their prices have raised incrementally over the years, so the different ranges have different prices. So if you want to get into them, the older stuff is great because it doesn't cost that much. You can buy one for like $3 to $5. Whereas where they're somewhat more recent stuff, but not all that recent, is like 15, and then their recent box sets for like huge event arcs are like $30 a piece.
Yeah, I get, but it makes sense to charge more for newer stuff because it just came out. Whereas the older stuff is just resale, so
yeah,
they're probably gonna make as much on
and
those.
the really cool thing is they actually released if you live in the UK and log into Spotify, if you have a UK IP, you can listen to their stuff on Spotify, their old stuff on Spotify for free.
Well, technically it's not free because you have to pay for a Spotify membership, but...
No, I mean, you don't need a Spotify membership to access it.
Oh, I mean, that's true of most things on Spotify. The only thing is if you just use Spotify regular, you do have to deal with, like, ads and stuff between, like, books and stuff.
Yeah, but we got ads on YouTube phone as well, so, you know, is it really that bad? Actually, knowing YouTube and knowing Spotify, the ads on Spotify probably aren't even half as annoying as the ones on YouTube.
Yeah, the ads on Spotify, from what I can tell, are much, shorter, but one thing I noticed is they only have a limited number of, like, skips, so you only get, like, 5 skips per day, so if you do more than 5, you have to, like, listen through not just the ads, but also, like, a song, so you don't like a song, and you're on free, you have to actually change to some other album or something. Whereas with my membership, I can skip as many times as I want and hop around into anything I want, so there's that benefit as well.
Nice.
Like, if it were just the ads, I wouldn't get the membership, but because of all the other features that I didn't really like that were kind of made the experience worse, that kind of made me justify the cost. Plus, when I signed up, I actually got the first 2 months free, so that helped me to ease into it. And then after that, I think it was like $8 a month, so it's not that much.
Yeah. When we do To Be Continued this week, I am going to, I'm actually excited to talk about the Doctor Who story I listened to this week. Because it actually follows up on a story arc that was dropped by the TV show.
What arc was that, and what was the reason for its dropping?
It was the new Paradigm Daleks. In 2010, the Daleks got a redesign, and they got roasted on by everyone so hard that the showrunner decided to drop the new design, keep the old one from the 2005 Revive's initial display, and the new Paradigm Dalek plot thread got completely dropped.
Oh, I see.
Rabbits ain't worth it. But yeah, I really like the title of the box set because it's kind of a play on an inversion on the original episode title. The episode with the new Paradigm Daleks debut was Victory of the Daleks, whereas this one's called Victory of the Doctor. And despite the name, the Doctor and his companion are on the back foot for like 90% of the comic. It gets grim.
Interesting.
And making things even cooler, it ties everything from the previous box sets together into its plot. Whereas for a while, the box sets that were released in like a set or a range wouldn't necessarily all tie in together at the end. Like, not everything was relevant. Sometimes they just had one-off stories included in the set for padding. This one, though, doesn't do that. They waste none of their stories. It's super satisfying in the end. And hell, even the gay character isn't annoying and forced. It actually feels like authentic to the story. That's probably the highest praise I can give something these days, because, you know, all the gay shit that I see in media now feels forced, and it's just there to appease the alphabet people.
You know what's really fascinating, though? 20 years ago, people used to complain about the fact that there was, like, barely gay people on TV, and now there's every TV show has, like, a gay character. In fact, at this point, there's actually more gay people in TV shows and movies than gay people in real life.
I believe it.
Like, Mike had a friend in Ohio who was openly gay, and he was trying to find a boyfriend, couldn't find anyone but he found plenty of privates. Like, bro, there's more privates in this town than are gay men. I think I had to go to Colorado to find someone. It was wild, but like, yeah, it goes to show how oversaturated the whole gay market really is.
And again, I don't have a problem with gay people inherently in media. I just don't want them to be annoying and forced. I want them to be well written and naturally part of the story. Not everything needs to be alphabet and rainbow colors, but it doesn't mean that they can't be done either, you know?
Yeah, there's definitely because the funny thing is, it's like with the women and the minorities, they were handled much better back then because people wrote them like characters, but nowadays they either write them like caricatures or mouthpieces for their agenda. And overall,
Exactly.
the biggest issue is that back in the day, they built a good story to have a powerful message, and for the most part, the messages were very universal in nature and could apply to basically anyone. But even if it was a more dare I say, maybe political messages. It wasn't as comic then, obviously, but even when that happened, the difference was the story was written away were so well written that, like, even if you disagree with the message, you could at least understand where the author was coming from, and you still got a good story out of it. But nowadays, what happens is a lot of, particularly millennial writers, they make the message the core of the story.
Right, and the bad guy is always the person who disagrees with message. Let's not forget that part.
And it's not just that they disagree, it's that they are cartoonishly evil. I remember there was a while in the early 2010s where they had the relatable villain trope where every villain had like a sad sob story and they could just be redeemed and what have you.
Oh,
but
I hate that too.
Cartoonishly evil.
Dude, did I tell you about my hatred for a certain character from Friendship is Magic?
I don't.
You're gonna laugh because you're gonna because I can already tell what your reaction is gonna be. You're gonna be surprised that Friendship is Magic is fucking based. They had a villain who was a communist.
Uh-huh.
And the villain was very effective, came back and was run out of town not by the main characters, but by the people of the town that she ruined. Later on, comes back, has like this super like powerful fight between the main character, and then goes back and time travels and ruins everyone's lives. And at the end of the episode, the main character says, "No, I'm gonna redeem you," and then it goes on to show that fucking communist character one-upping everyone at the tasks that the main six are good at, and it's like that pissed me off so much because that redemption was not earned, and what she did was so heinous. It's like I made a meme about this when it happened. You know that scene in Star Wars with Mace Windu? He's too dangerous to be left alive.
I see.
That was my reaction to that, and it's just like. They had such a good thing going with, like, holy shit, evil communist, yes. And then they fucking ruined it. I was so disappointed.
Yeah, that's very lame. I think the Sim the Villain show was more so from, like, the early to mid-2010s. By the time we got to the late 2010s or early 2020s, that's when we saw the caricature villains, where it's one thing if, like, there's bad guys who want to take over the world. It's another thing when they're just villains who, like, not, like, disagree with, like, the message of the story, but are so cartoonishly evil that, like, you can't really relate to them. And it paints those who disagree with the message of the story in a very negative light.
Yeah.
Also, I find it really
a
funny.
pleasure as always. What brings you?
I wanted to ask you something. Why is this revolution so important to you?
Since I decided to embark upon this adventure, through all the lords and merchants and soldiers I've spoken to, you are the first to ask me this. Have you ever been to France?
I have not.
One day, when all of this is over, I will invite you to Paris to stay with me and my family. She is the most beautiful city in all the world, Connor. Full of art and culture, women and wine. But she's sick on the inside. Black and rotting.
Yeah.
But here is something quite different. On the outside, the colonies are dirty and dangerous, unforgiving and uncivilized. But on the inside, they glow. And that is why I am here. To learn. I want to return home, able to touch France's black heart, and make it glow once more.
Sorry about that, my allergies are getting the better of me. Now, where was I? Oh, yes.
We were talking about how badly written media is these days and how villains are people who disagree with the message and are cartoonishly evil.
Yeah, like, the Trump Republicans or what have you. Pretty common trope. Yeah, I do think a lot of that art's going to get dated really badly because anyone, like, you go forward, like, even 10 years from now, people grow up, like, in the 2030s and 40s are not going to get why people hate Trump so much.
Yeah.
Like, or, and 100 years from now, no one's going to know who Trump is, and they're like, what's a Donald Trump? Why do you hate him so much? It's gonna make him look really bad, like in a historical perspective. I think all that stuff's gonna age like milk.
Most likely.
And most of it's already been forgotten. Like, there were reboots I didn't even hear about because, like, nobody talked about them. And it goes to show how, like, creative and Bank of Hollywood has been recently.
You know, this reminds me of something I was actually thinking when I was listening to the Doctor Who box sets for the 11th Doctor, the one that Victory of the Doctor comes from. There's a story, I don't remember the name of it, because each album has, like, I think 3 to 4 stories. But they were doing a Cyberman story, and it was an allegory for conversion camp. And actually, no, it wasn't even an allegory. It was just straight up a religious conversion camp. Now, it wasn't directed at Christianity specifically, but the themes were there. And I'm like, you know what? This annoys me, but not for the reason that it normally would. It annoys me because it's basically an inversion of an idea that I had, where I would have done a Cyberman story where Cybermen were used as an allegory for transgenderism. Because I don't know if you know the lore of the Cybermen, but basically they're these bionic they're people from a different point in time and space where they wanted to survive at all costs and gutted out everything that made them human and basically put their brains into cybernetic suits. Sterilized themselves, made them barely even people anymore.
Whoa.
Yeah. And so you can see how something like that would lend itself well to, like, a transgender allegory, because the other thing about the Cybermen is they want everyone to be upgraded into what they are. They think they're helping people by doing that. Uh-oh. Shit, I fucked up hard there. I have only like a tick of health left.
As to your point, that's not going to happen probably anytime soon because of, you know, the obsession over transgenderism from the left. It's going to take, like, them basically losing all power in the culture for us to be able to tell this kind of nuanced stories again.
Yeah. And, you know, people and the people who've been pushing transgender shit are not going to be looked at kindly by history.
No, I mean, they're already, like the fact that the trans thing's already moved, like, the funny thing is only new president to put this madness to an end. Like, yeah, you got dumb people, like, protesting for it, but let's be honest, like, they're not gonna be around for much longer, and it wouldn't surprise me a lot of people just act as if the grift just never happened. And it's like, nah, you were part of it. You have to own up to it.
Yeah. And there we go, alienating 90% of all the people who would be watching us, I'm sure, with the politics talk. Whatever. We do this for us.
I don't know. I mean, honestly, I think our audience is actually a lot more concerned than probably the average streamer. I mean, just look at our Discord. We don't exactly have a lot of crazy libs over there.
Yeah, but, well, the people who find me via Twitter, I'm like, no, there's a lot of left-leaning people who like Doctor Who. I'm something of an anomaly, actually.
Interesting. Yeah, I have a lot of, I had just some liberal colleagues myself, but the difference is, that's basically a different version of myself on a different social media platform. There's very little crossover between this area and that side of my life, so I don't worry too much about that unless somehow I get, like, famous or something. And even then, you know, I'm working a different name here, so not much to worry.
Yeah, I'm too tired. I'm at the point in life where I'm too tired to pretend that I'm something I'm not.
I think of it like Superman, right? Where, like, you have your civilian identity, and then you got your superhero identity, and the challenge of balancing the two. Which I've actually done quite well so far.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, and the irony is thick coming from me, a VTuber. It's just that I think it's a lot easier to just be who I am at all times, and not pretend I'm something I'm not. Hell, the Arbiter wasn't supposed to be a Christian character, but he turned into one just because the line between him and the Arbiter and Seth is basically non-existent at this point. I'm playing this character as myself, essentially.
Yes, but still a character nonetheless, you know, obviously you're not a Time Lord in real life.
No, as fucking awesome as that would be.
Yeah. the Christian Time Lord of Faith would be quite an interesting concept to explore.
It's not that unusual. In John Pertwee, the Third Doctor's final story, there was a Time Lord who mentored the Doctor before coming to Earth, and he gets mentioned in the lead up to the climax of the story. And at the climax of the story, you find out this Buddhist monk who had been leading a retreat was actually that Time Lord that mentored the Doctor back on Gallifrey.
Whoa.
So yeah, for Time Lords to adopt a religion of another society, it's not unheard of. I don't know if there are any Christian Time Lords in canon. Oh, what's this? I've never seen this before. Time to ruin these Redcoats' day. Holy shit, that was awesome! Oh my lord!
Whoa.
That's right, over the shoulder you go. We got that sweet somersault attack again. What are you gonna do, boy? Drum at me? You little drummer boy? Okay, I can't guard break that guy with the knife. There we go. I have to just keep attacking when he does that. Oh, grenade. That's a problem. More grenade. They got themselves. Ooh.
Oh, you got another combo on your way.
Oh, shit. Oh. These big dudes with the axes can be a real problem.
Yeah, they look Scottish.
It's the kilts. Okay, I broke his guard. We should be able to kill this one. Yep, as long as I don't get whacked in the face by that dude's axe. Shit! Wow, okay. These guys are good. They're pretty coordinated. There we go. He's done. Yes!
Alright, to the convoy!
Looting the wagon. And we just got 7,000 gold.
Nice. That is excellent to hear.
I can't remember which country it was, but I vaguely remember that there was a country wanting to give AI human rights. I'm like, well, no. The AI does not deserve rights. I don't need a moral lecture from my toaster. Oh, we got a cougar. Or a mountain lion? Nope, that's a cougar.
You know, it's actually pretty hard to find a mountain lion in the mountains, because they tend to avoid human civilization.
I saw a big cat once. I don't know what the fuck type it was, but I was walking home from school one day, back in middle school, and I was walking through this forested canyon area, and I see this big black cat that's like that's about as tall as my torso, and I froze because I'm like, what the fuck do I do here? It looked at me and then just kept and then just wandered off. I don't know what I saw. I don't know what wildlife is here in California, but it definitely put the fear of God in me. I'll say that.
Probably a black cougar.
Could be. Huh. How the fuck am I supposed to get to that objective marker?
You swim across the lake. Now let's get to the other side of the mountain. We'll make it.
Oh, wait, no, I know what we need to do. Okay, there we go. Remove. Why does it not let you fast travel if you put the marker on it? That's weird.
Well, yeah, you're blocking the fast travel icon. You can't fast travel, you can't click it.
But here's the thing, you don't need to click it to use it. You have to use the left control button.
Oh, I see. Why don't you put markers on fast travel points? I just put the marker where I want it to go and then go from there.
Yeah. Onward to New York! Oh, I have level 2 notoriety? Nope, I'm incognito in New York.
New York, New York.
Benedict Arnold mission. That's after sequence 10, which is what we're on right now. Okay, there's the Homestead mission, so let's go do that first, and then we'll travel to the story mission.
Alright. Is there any other questions you want to do beforehand?
Nah, I think we've covered everything in New York in a previous episode.
Oh, I see.
Let me see, is there a fist fight option here? No, I don't see anything for a fight club. Guess that was Boston only. Hey Rick, if you could live in any time period in America, which would it be and why?
Oh, man. If I were to pick... Ooh, it'd be interesting. Now, this might seem a little cliche, but I'd probably go... And it might seem a bit contradictory as well, but I'll say probably either the 50s or the 90s.
Yeah, having lived through the 90s, it was pretty alright, actually.
Yeah, but you were just a kid in the 90s.
I was a baby. I was a baby. I didn't turn 6 until the year 2000.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's one thing to, like, be a baby or a kid in the 90s. I thought being an adult in the 90s.
Yeah.
Like, the 50s, I think, was probably pretty solid time in America. It was fresh off World War II. The economy was really booming. Everyone seemed to get along just fine. And then the 90s was the immediate aftermath of the Cold War. And, you know, really felt like we were heading towards a bright, beautiful future. You know, until 9/11 happened and everything started going to garbage.
Well, America has had problems, between the 50s and the 90s. You had the Vietnam War, which we never should have been involved in the first place. We got involved in that under false pretense. Can't remember if that was the Gulf of Tonkin incident or something else.
Well, actually, the reason why we got involved in there, part of it was because the South Vietnamese actually begged us to help them to beat the North Vietnamese so they wouldn't become, you know, because they didn't want to be communists.
But Americans weren't but Americans weren't in favor of getting involved until an incident staged by our government happened, and it turned out that it was a false flag. So our involvement to sell America as a public on the war was entirely set up on a lie.
Well, yeah, I would argue the war as a whole probably would have gone a lot better if, like, Nixon had been elected in 1960. Because part of the reason the war ever turned out so badly was because, you know, JFK and Lyndon B. Johnson, they didn't want to fight in that war, but JFK ultimately fought in the war because after the failure of the Bay of Pigs invasion, which he also had nothing to do with, he was looking weak in the eyes of communism, so he got America more involved so that he would be seen as like a fighter in communism. But with him and Johnson, their strategy was just to bomb Vietnam until they just North Vietnam until they surrendered, which obviously didn't work. So by the time Nixon finally got in there, it was too late to really do anything significant, so the only logical solution at that point was to pull out.
Right.
But like I said, Nixon got in there sooner, because Nixon and Eisenhower actually had a plan to end the war not only relatively quickly, but a situation that would have, like, protected South Vietnam, guaranteed peace, and stave off communism. But neither Kennedy nor Johnson followed through with that plan, and that's how we ended up with the mess that we did. Now, whether or not the war was under false pretenses, that's one story, but to say it was completely unwinnable, I don't know if that's entirely the case.
Yeah, I never claimed it was unwinnable. I've heard some people say that, and no, I'm with you there. I think that it could have been won had we gotten involved sooner and had better strategies when we were involved. But
right. Yeah.
But I think that communism is a self-defeating enemy. I think the domino theory is absolute horseshit. We could have let the problem sort itself out. Sure, people would have suffered, but
well, here's the thing, Seth. I do have a counterpoint on that point. Just a slight counterpoint, not a heavy one, but you know, even as late as the 1980s, it was believed. Like, I knew that now the Soviets were getting weaker by the 80s, mainly because of Reagan's economic policies at the time, but many people believed that the Soviet Union would never fall, that they'd get weaker, but they never fall. But Reagan was the only one who claimed that they would, and lo and behold, just a couple years after he left office, the Union collapsed in December of '91. And with that fall, that was probably the biggest death blow to communism. But many would argue that, like, had not been Reagan's economic policies in the 1980s and his attitude of, like, you know, believing that communism could be defeated, it's very likely the Soviet Union would exist today and communism would be seen as a more legitimate ideology.
Remind me again. Was Reagan the one that engineered the Soviet-Afghan war?
Nope, that was entirely on the Soviets. Like, Afghanistan to the Soviet Union was basically
It's
like
one of our presidents supplied the Mujahideen with a bunch of weapons, and that's we are to blame for the Middle East turning into a fucking shit show. Not just in the not just Iraq and Afghanistan and the war on terror, but as far back as the Soviet-Afghan war, we actually engineered that conflict.
Well, I don't know much about that part, but what I do know is that when the Soviet Union went to war in Afghanistan, they actually took far more casualties than the America did in all its Middle Eastern wars combined.
Yeah.
Which goes to show that even when we're fighting in the war, Americans always strive to reduce as many casualties as possible. Whereas with other nations in the past and even today, they don't really do that.
Well, I mean, it's fucking war. You're gonna wanna give the guy across from you the biggest, blackest eye you can possibly give him.
I know, but I think the difference is when America does it, we try to do it in a way to we're not totally wiping out the other peoples. Like in the past, there were entire civilizations that were wiped out in the process of war, not just defeated, but like eliminated from the face of the earth.
Yeah, the Punics come to mind.
Exactly, and you know, to my understanding, America's not done anything even remotely close to what the Munichs or the Mongolians did. Certainly not the Romans.
Yeah.
I have come to inquire on a package arriving from France on behalf of Lance O'Donnell.
Was picked up and signed for by his apprentice a couple of days back.
Oh, this fuckwit again.
Patrick O'Hara is Mr. O'Donnell's former apprentice. Would you happen to know where he is?
Sure, he's been hanging around the docks the last few days. Should be around the way.
Here, take these pages and hide them. Don't let that guy get his hands on them.
Man, that guy's a pain in the butt. How do people still think he's his apprentice?
Shit was not nearly as well documented or communicated back then, my dude. You'd be.
Oh, yeah.
We take instant communication and documentation for granted because we live in the 21st century, where where everything is surveilled at this point. You gotta remember, shit got through word of mouth and papers back then. Imagine everything happening by snail mail, and actually. Double how slow that is, because nobody has engines in their vehicles, it's all horseback. Or foot traffic.
Yeah, just look at the streets. Just filled with people walking around minding their business.
Yep.
Also, it just occurred to me, a lot of the women have, like, those little caps on their heads.
Yeah, bonnet, I think it's called.
Oh.
Did you know that 90% of the American Revolution was planned in, like, taverns and places like that?
Wouldn't surprise me, especially given how Boston was with their liquor.
I didn't do shit! Oh, come the fuck on! Okay, well, you're witness. He attacked me first. Yeah, that fucking figures. So much for keeping order. You just want to fucking skewer somebody. You don't care who's at fault. I would have liked to have done this quietly. Easy, boy. No, I'm trying to pet the dog so he'll shut up. Down, boy!
Yeah, you're gonna have to stab it. Oh, never mind, you left it.
Yeah, I'm not killing a dog if I can help it. I don't like dogs, but I'm not Wilbur Watley. I'm not gonna shoot a dog just because it growled at me. And if you don't know who Wilbur Watley is, I highly recommend reading The Dunwich Horror by H.P. Lovecraft. Fantastic book.
Oh, he's a real person?
No, no. Wilbur Watley is a character from the novel Dunwich Horror.
Oh, I see.
Blend in and pick the man's pocket. Come the fuck on. No, I love you, cat, but now is not the time. Will you fucking stop moving? Let me... There we go. Thank you. Yes, this is what I wanted to do. Oh, he has to die?
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
I like you just stab them and they don't even get phased.
Oh no, they're spooked. They are fucking spooked by this. They don't suspect a thing. That's hysterical. The British soldiers were right. The British soldiers were right there. They should be stopping me to question me, but no. Those guys are fucking dumb.
That's what gaming AI was back then.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna climb this boat.
Man, I hate allergies.
Me too.
There's a cure to allergies. I'd be in the front of the line to take it.
Sinus ones are probably the worst. Because they affect your ability to breathe.
What about the worst?
Sinus allergies. You struggle to breathe with them.
Oh, I hate those. Yep. Get off the boat! Whee!
Wait, that worked? That's weird. I was detected. I should have been forced out. Whatever.
Yeah, 'cause you're
I'll
on a
take
boat.
it. I will absolutely take it.
Oh wait, it's yellow again.
Yeah, I got out of the radius, so we're good.
Alright.
It's funny, for a person like fascinated by time travel, I would probably choose to live in this time period that we're already living in. I wouldn't change it.
Why would that be?
We're at the apex of medical development as a society and still growing it. We have all this cool stuff like gaming, we have like thousands of different music artists. Honestly, if culture wasn't woke, we would be in a golden age of media, and it would be a renaissance.
Well, yeah, the only reason we're not the only reason we're not in the golden age is mainly because the institutions funded like a bunch of nonsense programs instead of like working in factories. People are just wasting time crying about socialism on social media. Like, it's kind of funny because the people who want socialism the most are going to be the first to be gunned down if it were to actually happen.
Yeah. Although, given my job history, I absolutely would be employed. So there's that at least. I'd be employed by the state, and I have to meet ridiculous quotas, but they wouldn't just execute someone who knew how to test software.
True. Part of the reason I chose the 90s if I could travel through time is because I could have broken into the games industry at a time when I was younger, and, like, it was also at a time when, like, things were more universal back then, so it would have an easier time, like, finding my way around and, like, building up my name and reputation. And then, once the time was right, I could more easily make my own studio and go from there.
Yeah, you could go
today.
independent right as the indie gaming scene was kicking off in the 2010s.
Yep, exactly. Don't worry, I'll find a place in the industry. I'm still, Oh, look at that, there's your old man.
Yep.
Now we're in scenario 10. And the time change.
We need to know what the Loyalists are planning, if we're to put an end to this.
I've tried, but the soldiers themselves are told nothing now, only to await orders from above.
Keep digging. Come find me when you have something worth sharing.
Honestly, I like my dad's take on the Assassin-Templar dichotomy. Dad thinks they both suck.
Put an end to the Civil War and be rid of the crown.
What do you intend?
Fair enough.
Well, nothing at the moment, since we're completely in the dark.
I thought the Templars had eyes and ears everywhere.
Oh, we did. Until you started cutting them off.
Your contact said orders from above. It tells us exactly what we need to do. Track down the Loyalist commanders.
It seems stream avatars aren't active. Yeah, Stream avatars is on my to-do list. I actually have 8-bit sprites of Doctor Who characters that I want to get made, but to have those custom stream avatars made would cost, like, I think $350 for the set that I want to do. And I do not have the luxury for those stream avatars. Hell, I probably shouldn't have commissioned that banner or my 13th incarnation, but I did because because my contacts were willing to let me pay like $25 a month, and that was before I knew I was getting less than 20 hours a week.
Interesting. No, because I was about to say, there's maybe some, like, ones out there already that you can just use in the meantime while you're, like, saving up to get the new ones.
I mean, there is, but I'd rather keep it unique, if that makes sense.
Fair enough. I know Martyr had those Smash Brothers ones for a while.
Oh yeah, that was cool. I think that was a preset, though. Stream Avatars does have a lot of really good presets, but because of the theme of my channel, it would take custom ones to get done.
I see. Yeah, I think the ones for Smash were based on like the skins from Mario Maker. Actually, in fact, most of them were directly ripped from Mario Maker, and the few that weren't were just originals based on the same concept.
Have you considered the proposal?
I'm unconvinced. To reinforce them would leave New York exposed. It's hard enough maintaining order with our current numbers. Cut in half.
Yet if we do not join with them, they risk defeat. And then what?
Well, they should have come by sea.
I actually got a hold of a limited edition 10th Doctor and 13th Doctor's avatars for Roblox. Very cool.
Demand answers?
Well, yes.
Actually, I mean, 13th Doctor depends on how you count it. I always because of John Hurt as the War Doctor, I consider the 13th Doctor to be Peter Capaldi, not the 12th.
Leave the commanders alive, Connor.
Uh-oh.
We can interrogate them.
What about Peter Capaldi?
Peter Capaldi was the actor who played the 12th Doctor officially, but because the numbering got weird thanks to the War Doctor played by John Hurt, he could be considered the 13th Doctor.
Oh. Oops.
The female doctor. Ah, yes.
Leave the commanders alive.
Well, now we have 2 female doctors.
Interrogate them.
Yeah, Billie Piper is a good actress. I liked her as Rose. I'm not sure how I feel about her playing the Doctor. I actually was more optimistic about Ncuti Gatwa than Billie Piper. But that was because that was back before Russell T Davies came back and proved that he was just in it for political messaging.
Which is weird. Wasn't he a writer for like the 10th Doctor?
Yeah, and the 9th. He was the showrunner for them.
Oh, so how did he get so... You know, that's the saddest ones are the most, right? The ones who were good, but then became shit because of politics.
Yeah. I saw a Doctor Who Hot Takes Twitter account, and they claimed that Russell T Davies, the showrunner for the 9th and 10th Doctor, was just as had the same problems in his first run as his second, though admittedly less pronounced. Oh shit! I was not supposed to do that. Yeah.
Ooh.
3 doctors actually. There was a female doctor before the first incarnation. No. I will not even acknowledge her existence. No. William Hartnell is the first.
We can interrogate them.
I am not dishonoring that man's memory by... What the fuck? Why was I on the ground?
Who knows? Ooh, nice.
But yeah, I was out when they made the Master a lady because I knew the Doctor was next. And I knew they were doing it for political reasons, and I was right about both of those, so I figured I would be right that the Lady Doctor would suck. And I haven't watched any of her episodes, but I've seen like episode summaries by reviewers, and yeah, no, fuck that shit.
Yeah. And she only got the job from nepotism too, which makes the whole thing even worse.
Yeah.
Achoo!
Let's just call it pre-Doctor Who incarnation. No.
We do not acknowledge the Timeless Doctor. That sort would have made so much more sense for the Master, honestly.
Yeah. It would really explain why the Master has such, like, a bone to pick with Gallifrey as a whole. And the funny thing is about the Doctor and the Master's relationships, the Master believes the Doctor to be better than him because of, like, oh god, I'm trying to remember how Beware summarized it. He did a great job explaining their dynamic and why the Timeless Child is just an atrocity of writing for both of them, and why it should be inversed.
Really? Well, you'd best get after him then.
You go. I will watch the prisoners.
No, you do it.
Why me?
Because I said so. Now go.
Now go. You'll get him.
Help! I need help!
Oh, that's so not what we need right now. Yep, I'm being chased by the entire Goon Squad. We might as well start playing the Benny Hill theme now. There we go, we got him.
Move.
Go to hell.
I said move.
Punch him in the face.
Wait. I'll tell you anything you want. Anything, only don't make
We just
me
have some
there.
questions for you.
Cross that threshold, and I'm a dead man.
There you are, Connor. I was worried you might have gotten lost.
For in Doctor Who universe, I blame the Doctor's first adopted mother for causing the Timeless Child incident. It's not even the incident, it's the whole fucking arc.
Yeah, I'll push him, dude.
How, I can push with the space button, okay. Also, since we're on the topic of bad Doctor Who writing, the hybrid was fucking stupid. And
Who's the hybrid?
It was some sort of prophecy about like a warrior race mixed with Time Lords, and it turned out to be like the Master creating cyber Time Lords, and then the Master destroyed Gallifrey. Oh god, it just pisses me off. It spits in the face of the 50th anniversary special. Ugh.
Yeah, that's annoying.
You know, Doctor Who has had some showrunners that I really don't like, and as much as RTD's second span as showrunner was fucking cringe, at least he didn't do at least the Timeless Child and the destruction of Gallifrey and the Cybermasters wasn't his doing. That goes to fucking Chibnall. Fuck Chris Chibnall. I'm not a fan of Moffat either, but Moffat's actually my highest rated showrunner now. He used to be my second highest rated, and I actually used to like him the least, but the worst I can say about him is that the man doesn't know how to follow up his own ideas. At least he doesn't have an antagonistic role with the fan base.
That city's finished. New York's the key. They'll double our numbers, push back the rebels.
When do they begin?
2 days from now.
June 18th. I must warn Washington.
You see? That wasn't so very difficult now, was it?
I've told you everything. Now let me go.
Of course.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The
but
other two said the same. It must be true.
You could also make the argument that the Morbius doctors were future doctors rather than past ones.
Held them until the fight
it could have
was done.
very easily been said that that was the case.
Precious time and money on their care? What would be the point?
Or potential doctors instead.
I'll meet you at Valley Forge.
Yeah, for those of you not in the know about classic Doctor Who lore, The Brain of Morbius was an episode where there was a machine that showed other doctors, and the explanation was, the canon explanation is that they were past incarnations from before William Hartnell, but I never liked that. I liked to think they were potential incarnations instead. Maybe, yeah. Yep, it's a party now. We got a discretion shot courtesy of a civilian. Oh, you just hit your buddy with an axe. How you gonna explain that one?
Ooh.
Ouch. Uh-oh. Human shield. Hey, you know what I'm surprised by?
What's that?
There is a severe lack of video games about King Arthur.
Oh yeah, that's true. We got like movies and comics. Not games though.
Somebody needs to fix that.
How would you do a King Arthur game?
There's a lot of ways it could be done. I think the best way would be a story-driven RPG where you play as Arthur and you get the different knights as party members throughout from the rise of Arthur as a young man living in London and getting the Caliburnum from the stone, and then into his reign as king. And it would go from being a story-driven RPG to like a... Well, actually, no, I take it back. Fallout 3 had that Brotherhood of Steel mod where you could make decisions about how to like manage the wasteland after they take over from the Enclave. So yeah, that could totally be done.
So like, if someone's never read like King Arthur before, what stories would you recommend to help them get up to speed?
I'm sorry, what was that? I heard like maybe 50% of that.
So like, if someone's never read King Arthur before, what stories would you recommend to help them understand the character better?
If they're young, there was a CD called King Arthur and His Knights that I have converted into an MP3 file. That actually tells the story of King Arthur and stories of each of his knights. I have another book that I did a book report on for 4th grade that was a story about King Arthur. And then and then maybe Le Morte d'Arthur, but I haven't read that yet. That's on my to-do list. I have the audiobook of it.
So what about for older people? Like adults, I say.
Well, Le Morte d'Arthur can be read by all ages, I think. I say I think because I don't know if that one goes into Lancelot and Guinevere's affair, which I don't consider canon of the Arthur mythos because it doesn't make sense that Arthur's most loyal knight would betray him by having an affair with his wife, even if he is French.
Yeah. So that's the thing about Arthur mythology. Was it just mythos that was passed on British culture, or were like a series of books that like? Well, I think there's the Pendragon Chronicles. I know that. I think ties to King Arthur, but I know at least the first 2 books he's not in it. Maybe aside from those, like, is there maybe any other series that kind of ties into it, or like, how did the myth spread about? Actually, how the stories spread initially? Was it just word of mouth, or
yeah, it was a lot of word of mouth, and then it got and then it became literature over the years, and then pamphlets. Lancelot was actually a original character created by a French author who wanted to add his own character to the mythology, and yeah, the Arthur mythos is basically the first like huge collaborative work in historical. Well, I don't want to call it historical fiction because I don't know if it's entirely fiction. There seems. Oh, I just stabbed.
Why did you stab a revolutionary?
I didn't mean to do that. Shit.
It's okay. Just reserving the checkpoint.
Nah, we're just gonna have to live with that one. Will you guys let me open this? Okay. Yep. Now you're fighting. Okay. The Doctor Who incarnations timeline is confusing for that one. They made a King Arthur a villain in the 7 Deadly Sins Night of the Apocalypse anime who has the power of literal chaos. That's odd. There's literally God Pig in Arthurian folklore. I didn't know about that.
Oh. Oh! Ooh. So is Lancelot in the public domain?
Yeah, I think so, actually.
Oh, okay, I figured. Because he's a French author, but pretty common name in Arthur stories, so I wasn't sure how, like, free it was. Ooh.
There we go. We got our notoriety down to incognito again.
Well, that was fast.
Yep, I bribed a newspaper caller. Let's go help out our friends. No, don't kill both of them. Son of a bitch. I need to stop trying to help these blue coats.
The New York Chronicle, right here.
Maybe you shouldn't be stabbing the blue coats then.
The problem is this game has like an auto-targeting system. It depends on proximity to your target, and unfortunately they did not stop to think that maybe they should have an ally system for the faction you're helping at the time. Now, I don't want to spoil the game, but the Bluecoats are not always going to be our friends, but I've already said too much saying that.
I see.
A giant bright light in the form of a giant pig is called the Mother of Chaos in the Seven Deadly Sins anime, and this anime takes inspiration from Arthurian folklore. Weird.
Ooh, nice.
I'm trying to remember, what was that one anime where you had, like, Evil Jesus as one of the bad guys?
I don't know. I don't watch a lot of anime.
I heard it was really well written, actually. Even Micah said it was good. And in Welsh mythology, Henwyn, meaning Old White, is a sow that gave birth to Cathpolog, a monstrous cat which is associated with King Arthur. I knew about Henwyn because of the Prydain Chronicles being Welsh folklore. I actually have all of the Prydain Chronicle books in my collection, and I've read the first few of them. That was where we got the Black Cauldron from, actually.
Oh, the Disney movie?
Yep. That was an adaptation of the first 3 or 2 Prydain Chronicle novels. There's like 6 in total if you count the prequel that's an anthology story.
Yeah, I think it was like, I believe it was the first 2. They actually wanted to do one movie in the whole series, but like, the author's like, no, you gotta adapt one of the books, but then they compromised and did the first 2. That's one film.
Yeah, what they should have done is just made all the all of the films separate. Like, they should have made each film individually as a different story. It would have flowed a lot better. Also, would have helped if the production hell hadn't happened, but eh.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that you can't even find the movie on DVD these days.
You can't?
I don't think you can. I know it's on Disney Plus.
Let me look that up real quick. Oh, good. I'm happy that that's done. I've been trying to upload these for days. Amazon.
We interrupt this program to see if the Black Cauldron is on Amazon.
That's what happens when you watch a live broadcast. Okay, so Prydain Chronicles a box set, book 2 audio, 4K UHD. What's UHD? 4K.
Oh, that's Ultra HD. That's for like 4K TVs and like 4K players and stuff. Actually, if you have a PS5, you can probably pay it off the console.
We got a DVD.
I didn't even know it's on physical.
Oh yeah, look, original casing and all, $41. Wait, what? DVD? That is clearly a VHS box. What are you talking about?
Imagine say it's DVD and then you get a VHS in the mail. Huh. Okay, so you do it physically. I wonder if that's a resale, because of that Disney Vault collection a while back.
Yeah, who knows? They actually put Cathpolog in the Seven Deadly Sins anime too. It tried to eat Arthur to gain the power of chaos. Huh.
Well, if you can believe it or not, we have hit the 3-hour mark, so once we include this mission, we can find somebody to raid.
Actually, we're between missions right now, so why don't we save and quit, and then we will find somebody to raid. Our raid message is going to be what I'm going to title this episode when I upload it to YouTube and Odyssey, Father and Son.